So we look at some concepts of retrospectives. Now, the primary goal is to provide structural forum. The primary goal of retrospectives is to provide a forum where team members have to come together and reflect on their recent work and consider past results and decide on improvement. Take it again. The primary goal is to provide a structured forum where team members have to come together and reflect on their recent work or work at hand, consider their past results, and decide on improvements. Where they will come together and ask the question, how did it go? How is it going? These meetings are pivotal in creating supportive environment where team members can discuss what went well, what didn't go well, and how they can improve their processes and collaboration. Now, the key objective, having established the goal, having established the end, the key objectives. Objectives are the things that come together to be used to achieve a goal. Every objective gathered together to achieve the goal, achieve the end. Now, the key objective of retrospectives is for continuous improvement. Number one, that is continuous improvement. It is encouraging team members to reflect on their processes and outcomes in order to make consistent incremental improvements. In order to maintain consistent incremental improvement. That is objective number one. Objective number two is team cohesion. Providing structured environment where team members will have to communicate openly and enhancing overall team dynamics. Second point of it is to make for the team to have the cohesive tendencies so that they will communicate openly without feeling injured or without feeling hurt, so that they can enhance their overall team dynamics. Number third objective is learning by experience. When team members gather and talk and share their views, they learn from each other. Did you get that point? They learn from each other. It allows team members to recognize lessons, learn from both successes and from setbacks. When people learn from their experience in the field, they learn from their setback and from their mistake and also from their success, because everyone has to share what he has learned. The fourth objective is adaptability. So we are looking at the objectives of retrospectives. The fourth one now is adaptability, helping team members adjust their strategies and methods to improve efficiency and effectiveness for future interaction. Iteration means a repetition. So when people gather together in that forum, it helps them to adjust what they have not done well or what they think this is the better way of doing it. And also adjust their method to improve efficiency and effectiveness for their future iterations. Efficiency means the correct use of resources. It means using resources rightly. Effectiveness means correct use of resources. Okay, so we go now into format. How does this retrospective take shape? What is the shape it takes? What is the format, the structure? Now it has to have a shape. It must have a form. It must not be formless or amphibious. So number one form that we have it is setting the stage. Somebody needs to set the stage. Somebody needs to moderate it. Somebody needs to be the facilitator. Somebody needs to create a safe environment where all team members feel comfortable, free, sharing their thoughts. This might include the icebreakers or establishing ground rules for the communication. How does this go on? Somebody is going to be a moderator or a facilitator. Establish ground rule for the meeting. This is the conduct of the meeting. This is the ground rule that must be obeyed. And everybody feel free. This is why we have gathered. This is what we want to achieve. This is why this is what we want to do. Now, it might include an icebreaker. I hope you know what I mean by that. And establishing ground rule for the conversation so that everybody will be at home with without fear. The second format, the second thing that must come out in the format and the structure is gathering data. Team members collect facts and data from the completed iteration, that is job, work. They come up with facts and data. This involves reviewing metrics, discussing events, ensuring everyone has a shared understanding of what has transpired. I believe the NNPC does something like this regularly. Every member comes in with facts, what he has to share or come up with data from repeated job or completed job. This involves, we now begin to look at measurements. How did this, was this successful, was this not successful? Discussing events and ensuring that everyone has an understanding of what is going on. I believe that we call it data gathering or information gathering. The third thing to look into this format is what we call generating insights. During this stage, the team identify patterns that keep recurring. Discussing root causes of issues, and highlight what contributed to successes. Even where there is failure, what contributed to the failure. Various techniques like five whys and fishbone diagram may be used to delve deeper into problems and successes. I don't know whether you are aware of that tool called 5 whys or fishbone diagram. Have you heard of it? 5 whys or fishbone diagram. You have heard of fishbone diagram? Maybe somebody who will teach you methodology may have time to touch light on it. Now, this can be a technique that can be used to deepen conversation. It may also be used to delve deeper into the problem and the successes. Number 4 is deciding on improvement. Now, the team collaborates. Now, remember, I keep using the word team, which means this involves every person gathering there. This involves everybody gathering there, because everybody gathering there is equal on that stamp. So the team collaborates to determine specific actionable steps that can be undertaken to improve their future iterations. This might involve changing processes, their future, and the change may be involve changing processes, adopting new tools, or enhancing communication practices. The 5th one is now closing the meeting, closing the retrospective. This includes summarizing what we have discussed in the meeting, acknowledging contribution, ensuring that actionable items are documented with clear responsibility and timelines for follow-up. If possible, appoint somebody to follow up each of the action labeled. Remember, we have established 5 things in the format and structure. We said setting the stage. Somebody should make the stage set and make it easy and sweet for people to enter in and participate and be free. Number 2 thing we mentioned is gathering data. Number 3 thing we mentioned is generating insight. After the data has been generated, people need to put them in shape, in perspectives. Then after putting them in perspective, decisions have to be reached, deciding on improvement that should be made and which area it should be made. And then the closing of it is now we summarize what we have done and then acknowledge contributions of the people and ensure that the things that need to be actioned is assigned to specific people. No meeting ends in saying let us do this. Somebody must be assigned to do something. Otherwise, that group is not serious. Are you getting it? Something nobody is assigned to any person is assigned to nobody. Somebody must be attached to it. Then we look at the tools and techniques. We look at tools and techniques for doing retrospectives. Now, different techniques and tools can be or are employed to facilitate retrospectives, depending on the team preferences or what the team wants or the context that we are looking at. But there are 4 popular techniques and tools that are used in retrospectives. Okay. Tool number 1 is Mad stroke, sad stroke, glad. Write it. Don't forget it. This is tool number 1. I know you might have heard of it, or if you have not heard it today. Mad stroke, sad stroke, mad stroke, glad. Mad as in craze, sad as in anger, and glad as in being happy. Tool number 1. Now, what does this tool do? It encourages participants to categorize their feeling or observation into what makes them mad, sad, or glad, helping to visualize emotional responses to the iteration. Tool number 1 encourages everybody, put your feeling, put your observation into what makes you mad, sad, and glad. Did you get it? Okay. So as to help you to visualize emotional responses to the iteration. Number two is what we call start, stop, continue. Start, stop, continue. These members are asked to list the practice that can make them to stop the project, start the project, or continue in order to improve the workflow and team guidelines. This is technique number 2. Start, stop, continue. Use stroke to separate them. The third one is timeline. This is creating a visual timeline of the sprint or project to help pinpoint high and low points, significant events, and their impact. In this technique, you are working with timeline, creating visual. Now, one of the ways of doing it is to use a picture that looks like Gantt diagram. Somebody must teach you Gantt diagram, otherwise you haven't attended project management. So it's a tool you use to study timeline. Project major variable is time. Time. No time measurement, no project. Did you get it? So timeline is tool number 3. Tool number 4 is learning matrix. A grid that captures what went well, what can be improved, what was surprising, and what was learned, making it easier to recognize, categorize discussion topics. Now, the next technique people will work with is learning metrics. Now, that grid, a grid that captures what went well, what can be improved, and what was surprised, what was learned, making it easier to categorize discussion topics. Having said that, this 4, I'm now giving you 4 tools. Remember, math, glad, start, stop, continue, timeline, and learning matrix. Now, let me look at facilitating. How do you facilitate a successful retrospective? Now, the job of this facilitating is done by the person moderating. Maybe the team leader or whoever that will be asked to moderate or facilitate the meeting. You get that point? Now, how does he achieve a good retrospective? If you don't achieve a good retrospective, people can gather and fight. Do you know that people can gather for a meeting and they start fighting? Yes. No, even in your company. Do you mean that people don't come for meeting and they end up fighting? Because the facilitator had a problem being able to put things together. So how do facilitators achieve a successful retrospective? Number 1, neutral facilitation. Having an impartial facilitator can help the team stay focused and ensure that all voices are heard, preventing dominant personalities from overshadowing others. I don't think you heard me.
Preventing what?
Dominant characters from dominating the meeting, overshadowing others. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a need for a neutral facilitator who does not belong to a camp, who is impartial, to help the team to focus on what is at stake or what is the reason for gathering, and to ensure that all voices are heard, and that people that have a dominant character or personality does not overshadow the meeting. Have you not come to a meeting where one person keeps speaking or two persons keep speaking, others ones are shadowed? Huh?
There are plenty. His personality traits, they have their character.
Yeah.
They want to dominate.
Yes, and they are supposed to stop in a meeting like this.
Yes.
And so that everybody can be here. Because if you allow that personality trait of that person to continue, it will overshadow others. So to achieve a successful retrospective, if the team leader doesn't have the capability to moderate the meeting, let him appoint somebody who will be impartial and who will be allowed to every person equal opportunity to speak. Number 2 is psychological safety. How do you foster an environment where team members are safe to express their honest opinion without fear or judgment or reprisal or being maltreated if they say their mind? Did you get my point? Mm-hmm. You didn't. You are not listening now.
I'm listening.
I said psychological safety. Now, one of the reasons people don't speak up their mind in a meeting or in a gathering is because there is a psychological unsafe condition. If I say my mind, I will be maltreated. There will be a reprisal against me. If I say my mind, I will be treated badly. So there should be a psychological mind safety given to the participant to make them to create an environment where they feel safe to say their mind, to express their honest opinion without fear of judgment or reprisal against whatever they say. Did you get the point?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3 thing that a successful retrospective is supposed to do, a successful retrospective meeting is supposed to do via their facilitator is actionable outcome. Ensuring that retrospective conclude with clear, actionable items, assigning responsible parties, and setting deadline. That means ensure that whatever retrospective conclude are clear and in clear terms, are in lucid form, not something confusing, and that they are actionable items, things that can be acted upon immediately, and that they are assigned to responsible parties, and there is a deadline for seeing the outcome of that thing being done. If people know that what they gather in a meeting, nobody carries it out, next time they will not come.
Yes.
If they know that if they waste their time and give a suggestion, nobody carries it out, or it will be allocated to camp of where one person belongs to, and it is not distributed equally. Next time you call for such meeting, they will not come. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay, I see that every now and then. When people become unjust in working with people's opinion, next time you call meeting, very few will be interested. Only those ones that meeting favor will be interested. Other ones will not be interested to attend. So what have they done? They have abandoned the place for you. So we look at challenges and solutions to retrospectives. Retrospectives can face several challenges. What are the challenges? Challenge number 1 is avoiding what we call avoidance. Let me use the word avoidance. Now, this focus should remain on processes and system rather than personal faults. When people try to avoid meeting with certain people because of past experiences, it brings what we call avoidance, trying to avoid being a contributor to what would have been to general interest. That is avoiding blame. You are trying to avoid blame. You are trying to avoid insult. You are trying to avoid the kind of reprisal. It's one of the challenges where people, you call for retrospective meeting, they don't show up. They are doing what we call avoiding blame. Focus should remain on processes. So the meeting should focus on processes and systems, not individuals' fault. Not individual fault, not individual things, not personal things. Promoting a culture of shared responsibility can mitigate blame shifting or finger pointing. Did you get it? Promoting a culture of shared responsibility. This is our thing. It can mitigate, it can fight against blaming individual, blame shifting. This is this person's fault, this is that person's fault. It will mitigate against it. The other challenge we normally have when we have this type of meeting is actionable follow-up too. Without diligent follow-up, insight can remain unimplemented. Without actually a strong follow-up, whatever that is discussed will remain unimplemented. Establishing accountability mechanism helps to ensure that agreed upon changes are realized. Now the other one is what I call the complementary time. Team may become disengaged over time if retrospective become routine and lost their perceived value. I am always an apostle of telling people, don't always schedule meeting. Don't make meeting a regular thing. When you make any form of meeting too regular, it loses its value. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So when team become disengaged over time, team can become disengaged over time. If the meeting become so routine and too regular, it loses its perceived value. Let's say now, I have worked in a company. Every Monday there was a meeting. At the time, I called the head of that department that this thing is too routine, and we also know what will be discussed in every Monday. It is too close. Spread it longer. Unless there is emergency, then you know that this is on-demand meeting. On-demand, but this one that is regular, make it once a month, or make it once in 3 weeks, and never weekly. So it is always a group problem when meetings are made too regular. Regularly varying format, and the techniques also can re-energize the session. And if you are making the meeting, always don't make 2 meetings to look exactly the same. Learn to put varieties in a meeting. Don't like the meeting to be stereotyped the same way. Don't allow the meeting to be stereotyped the same way so that people don't get bored. The next thing we want to look at under retrospectives is what are the benefits before we begin to look at sample templates and questions for retrospective in project management. The last thing I will now say is what are the benefits, the gains of retrospectives. Number one benefit is informed decision making. By reviewing performance and outcome, teams can make a better informed, data-driven decisions about how they approach future work. By reviewing what they have done or what they are doing presently, it can help that team to make better informed, data-driven decisions about how they approach their future work. Remember that data-driven is because they are bringing the data, they are bringing the information of what has happened and what is going on. There is the second one, which is incremental integration. Now, through their continuous reflection and adaptation, teams can innovate within their processes, improving efficiency and output quality over time. The next is improve morale and engagement. When team members notice that their voice are being heard, that what they have noticed is being heard, considered, there is joy that comes in it, that my feeling, my observation, my opinion is being considered. It raises their morale and get them more engaged into the system, and it can increase and fostering more productivity through work and in a work environment. Very, very important. Every employee likes to see that his opinion find a place in where he is working, and nothing energizes than that in workplace. So the opportunity you get is that opportunity for calling you for let us talk. How did it go? That's a very big opportunity. Another time people tend to have opportunity like that is when they do what they call performance appraisal. Then that also depends on how organization does it. Some organizations may not give the workers that opportunity to aid their mind the way they want it. Did you get my point?
So retrospective, as you have said, is good about thinking back.
Thinking back, yes.
Thinking back, I want to use your words.
Yeah,
Thinking back is about performance management. It's about reviewing the performance.
Reviewing what went
wrong, and maybe sharing experience and the lesson learned.
Yeah, in that project.
In that particular project.
Yes.
It's always good to give project members or team members opportunity at the end of every assignment, every project,
to come up with lesson learned.
Allow them to share their views, and that lesson learned should be documented.
Exactly, that's the most important aspect.
That's the most important aspect.
Get whatever the opinion is
and share, and after documenting it, they can as well share that lesson learned in a larger group. Let's say a section of they formed a team from a group to go and carry out the project. When they come back to the group after executing the project and it's successful, they should be able to share even in the group. Maybe when they are holding one kind of meeting or the other, they should come up and share that documented lesson learned
and issue what they call a communique to the management.
It's like lesson learned.
Yes.
So that people will learn from it. Especially, we do things like that. We do things like that in our organization. You understand? If an event happens, let's say, let me just go outside our this thing. Maybe there is a fire break and the HSC, health safety and environment, or security people had to curtail, do a lot of things, and they come up and share that lesson learned. If there are things that were not done properly, they will be able to outline them one after the other and inform people, let people be informed, so that that kind of a thing will not happen again.
That's the essence. That's the essence. To learn from what has happened from experience. That's good. Now, the other benefit, the number 4 of it is what we call enhanced collaboration. By fostering open communication, retrospective improve teamwork members and align them to team objectives and makes them to more bonded in their team spirit. Are you getting it? Okay. Now we have looked at concepts and the workability of how retrospectives go. Now the next item now we will discuss is typical practical things that are asked. We may not exhaust them, but let's look at some what I call sample